Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to speak to Bill 91, and I would like to start off by saying, unfortunately, our party will not be able to support this bill because it's not quite right. So I would like to point out what the shortcomings of this bill are. It really doesn't change anything from the Waste Diversion Ontario. It just gives it a new name. It creates new, bigger taxes, and it creates more bureaucracy with garbage police, and they're unaccountable. Now, we know from the history of unaccountable agencies in the province of Ontario, when we set them up, we invite corruption, we expect troubles, and we get them. If we create the potential for groups, for agencies who are unaccountable to do something wrong, invariably, sooner or later, that situation does happen. So we have big charges for eco-taxes. A John Deere combine would pay $823.20 as an eco-tax fee to dispose of used tires. In Quebec, that same fee would be $0, and in Manitoba it would be $24. That's a penalty for business people in Ontario. It puts us at an economic disadvantage with our neighbours, and that's something we should not do. When we create an eco-tax like that, what we're saying to the people of Ontario is, we don't trust you to do the right thing, so we're going to penalize you with a tax and a fee. This bureaucracy, the Waste Reduction Authority, starts with a registrar who will have a list of producers. He will hire or have in place deputies who help put in place this list, and there will be inspectors who will basically be garbage cops. And they'll have the ability to fine people for not doing the right thing. So there's more of that penalty, that idea that we don't trust people to do the right thing, taking people's freedoms away. And that's very undemocratic, Mr. Speaker, and we should not be doing that. So what we should be doing, and as the PC party would say, and one other thing that's wrong with this is there's a tribunal to appeal of wrongful decisions, but basically you're appealing to the people that hurt you in the first place. And we know from practice in other organizations that just does not work, and so we cannot do that. That's an unworkable thing. This organization is exempt from the Freedom of Information Act, which kind of flies in the face of everything we stand for, openness and accountability. The Auditor General cannot be approached unless the Minister agrees that it's a good and proper thing to do. So those two actions right there define or remove the ability, remove oversight and remove accountability. So they protect an organization that has police powers to lay fines from oversight and scrutiny of the people of Ontario, even the Minister. So what we should be doing, and what the PC party would recommend, Mr. Speaker, is that the Ministry of the Environment take responsibility for overseeing the recycling of garbage. In this case, it's just 3% of the total garbage stream, so it's only a very small percentage of our total garbage. Used tires, electronic devices like televisions, and household hazardous waste like paints and cleaners. We would have no taxes. There's no need for taxes. We would trust people and encourage people to do the right thing. The Ministry of the Environment, well, we have to trust Ontario people because they are good people, Mr. Speaker, and they deserve our trust. And certainly they'll get that from this party. We will set targets for recycling. We will establish environmental standards, and we will monitor how the process goes. That will be the Ministry of the Environment, and that's how it should be done. But, Mr. Speaker, we have seen in the past when we have set up an agency like this that has no oversight and accountability, such as the OSPCA, which is a charity that has police powers, and what they do to people. Steve Straub in Vienna, Ontario, had his animals seized and he got a bill for $167,000. Surely that's abuse of power and authority. The appeal process was the same people that took his animals and took him to court, and we don't want that to happen to any other people. And surely if we set up a body like the Waste Reduction Authority that have police cops and oversight and accountability, these kind of things can happen. I would like to digress a little bit, Mr. Speaker. Not really a digression, but a broadening of the subject, because we're only talking about 3% of the garbage, and I think we can't do that, really. We have to look at the whole ball of wax. We have to look at the 100% of garbage and how, as a people, in the long term, should garbage be managed in Ontario. We had a committee in my riding. In my riding, we have the Carp Dump, Mr. Speaker, which is the largest dump in Ottawa, and it's full, and the waste management company that owns and operates it has applied for a second landfill beside the first. Recently, about a month ago, their environmental assessment was approved for the potential of building this dump, and the Minister of the Environment did a very good job on that, so my hat is off to him on that point. That's positive news, sir. So that subject of waste management is a very hot topic in my riding. We have some people after the last election who came to me and said, why don't we strike a committee of 6 people, there were 6 of us, to talk about what we do with garbage in the long term in the province of Ontario. And we decided that, first of all, we should take the attitude that it's our garbage, it's our responsibility. And because it's our garbage and it's our responsibility to dispose of it, we should also dispose of it in our community. Because to put it on a truck and send it to our neighbor, whether that be New York or wherever, is basically irresponsible. So that was the first thing. We should also take a look at ICI garbage and assume that is our garbage as well. Because the only reason the industries, commercials, and institutions are producing a good or a service is because we want that good or a service, Mr. Speaker. And as a result of producing that good or service, there is garbage produced. So therefore it is our garbage. That would simplify the garbage process, because now all garbage is in one class, not 2, as we currently have, which confuses and complicates the business of disposing of garbage. So beyond that, we would go one step further. We have the 3 R's, as was mentioned earlier by the previous speaker. Reduce, reuse, recycle, and I would suggest we should add a 4th R, and that would be recovery. And recovery would be incineration. And so basically the recovery part is where we incinerate the garbage and recover the benefit in energy, which could be used to produce electricity or heat that could be used in various ways. In the town of Brampton, they've had an incinerator for 25 years. Right in the town. Works well. I talked to Peter Robertson, the former mayor of Brampton, and he was very proud of how well this privately owned and privately operated incinerator worked. They burned the garbage, they produced electricity, they piped steam across the street to a cardboard manufacturing plant, they made cardboard, piped the hot water back, and was recycled through the incinerator. Europe has been using incinerators for probably 50 years, effectively. They're usually in cities. They burn clean, they burn well, they do the job, it gets rid of the garbage. Now here in Ontario, we can't mandate incineration, but we should encourage it as government as a choice to municipalities, and it would be the choice of municipalities. Recently, the region of Durham has got, after years and millions of dollars of process, 7 or 8 years I think it was, and $14 million, got approval to build an incinerator, and they are in the process of building it as we speak along Highway 401 at Bowmanville. I met with those people. What a proud and wonderful group of individuals. Roger Anderson, chair of the region, his team of engineers led by Mirka Januskiewicz is the engineer. She's a lady who is so enthused in what they were doing. The whole group was so enthused in what they're doing. They're doing the recycling, the composting, and the incineration, because they committed that there would be no landfill in their community in 1999, and now in 2013 or 2014 their incinerator will be up and be built. And they tendered it and did a wonderful process of choosing the best device they could find on the market. And there's 4 or 5 companies in North America that produce working, proven incinerators, and they chose one of them. So it's an exciting process. I believe that would address better how to manage garbage. We take the attitude that we own it, we're responsible for it. We encourage incineration, which eliminates or reduces the need for landfills. In smaller rural communities, incineration is not an option. It's expensive, but it should be something we very much encourage. And our group of people came up with this wonderful plan, which I think is wonderful. We're quite excited about it. The Durham folks were inspiring, and they've started the ball rolling again after 25 years. Environmentalists with false information stopped the idea of considering incineration in the province of Ontario, which was a 25-year setback in time, I would say. And now the ball is rolling again. So I think we need to embrace that as the future, the 4 R's, the responsibility, and incineration as the way to go, along with recycling of all kinds. More than just 3%, Mr. Speaker. This is a 3% solution. We're looking for a 100% solution. Thank you.